Welcome, heathens and witches, to the Horn
and Cauldron
podcast. Yeah. So, back at it again. This is a 102 episode.
Yep.
Mabon. So we're going to get into a deeper dive into Mabon. If you did not catch it, last year we released Mabon 101, which is like a more general overarching sort of a thing. Let's see, it's been a while since I've done this, so I'm trying to remember all the stuff I'm supposed to do. I guess, introductions. I'm John Norgrove. This is Julie Norgrove. This is the podcast that we do or whatever. And, if you're listening to this on your podcast network of choice, leave us a review. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like this video, comment below, share, subscribe, ring the bell, or whatever we're supposed to say nowadays. And hit us up on social media or the website or whatever if you have any questions.
Yeah.
But let's just get right into Mabon 102 because I'm spinning my wheels and I don't remember what I'm supposed to say. Yeah.
Well, I will take it away then. So, Mabon typically takes place on the Autumnal Equinox, which is this year on the 21st of September. So we're just getting this in on the wire here. Just
under the radar. It's okay.
That's in the Northern Hemisphere. It actually takes place in the spring on the Southern Hemisphere. And the equinox is the day that day and night are equal. So, hence... Equinox.
It's an equal
night.
Yeah.
So
two noxes, exactly the same size. These noxes.
So from the equinox out, basically there is more nighttime than daytime, all the way until we get to the spring equinox. So it's basically like summer is over and the winter is coming. Game of Thrones. This is actually the second of 3 harvest festivals. The first harvest festival was Lunasa, which we just did that episode pretty recently. And Mabon is a newer festival. This was actually
it's the middle child of the
it really
autumnal festivals.
Yeah, it really
harvest festivals.
And it's kind of like it is definitely treated like the middle child. The more
it is.
The more I think about that, the more true it is.
Because you're the first festival sort of like it's like first harvest. Let's all do fresh fruit and such. Like I know, just like dog hairs ferociously everywhere in my beard. It's okay. It's okay.
I was gonna try not to do it, but I had to.
They're in there. They're in there forever. I don't like it either, to be perfectly fair. But the dogs,
it's also the time that the dogs shed.
Yeah,
and we have a husky and a German shepherd, and I mean
they're just messy dogs who want to play. It's okay.
Yeah.
No, I mean like the first harvest festival is kind of like a big deal, right?
Yeah,
and then obviously like the
third one is the biggest deal.
Is like that's like the rager. You know, it rages so hard like non-practitioners celebrate it.
Yeah.
Basically. So this one's sort of like a more like solemn, it's like a chiller event, as it were. I mean, honestly, like relative, like to make it all kind of relative to the like traditional American winter holidays of Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. This is the perfect example of Thanksgiving. It's like,
absolutely.
It's like, it's fun and we get like turkey and stuff, but also you gotta go to your family's house and like sometimes also nightmare or whatever, So like, yeah, it's like,
especially when you cut out the like shopping side of Thanksgiving.
Well, now Thanksgiving has like Black Friday and Cyber Monday and a week of Black Friday deals and all this, which is just evil in its own, but that's not what this podcast is about, so we don't need to address that.
Yeah, we don't.
But, that's honestly the worst part of Thanksgiving is Black Friday and all of that shopping shenanigans.
Yeah.
Right? Like, can't we just have sweet turkey sandwiches and pies and shit leftovers for like a week? Isn't that celebration enough?
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Do I need to buy a new thing? No, I do not.
Will we? Probably.
Oh, yeah, of course we will. Come on. A deal. It's a good deal. I always need new technology. But, I mean, like, especially when you think about the alignment with Mabon being like a harvest festival of like giving things, right? So this really is the like Thanksgiving of harvest festivals.
It is. It is. So Mabon is a newer festival. It was created by Aidan Kelly, who was an American Wiccan, very prominent in the 1970s, and it's named after a Welsh mythological figure, Mabon ap Modron. And the interesting thing about it is the Welsh mythological figure that it's named after. Really, it's kind of a reach, kind of a stretch to have him tied to this particular holiday.
Yeah.
It would be far more accurate in terms of like world, like religious, spiritual mythos,
Yeah.
to have it be someone like Persephone or even Demeter or Inanna, because of the themes of Mabon. You know, we're in that like Thanksgiving thing. Another thing that's interesting to note is Mabon is very new. It's part of that like Wheels of the Year thing that happened with the neo-paganism movement that happened in the 70s. We've talked about this in most of our Sabbath episodes.
Yeah.
But we don't really have any like, we have no historical basis for ancient peoples celebrating quote unquote Mabon.
Sure.
Because it is a newer festival, and a lot of the stuff that was created in the neo-paganism movement that we've talked about, you know, with like early Wicca, especially in the 20th century, is like they're just sort of like going like, well, this is an ancient practice, but they don't actually have any like receipts to back that up. So this is one of those things.
Well,
so
when you think about writing the calendar, right? Like something would have fallen into this like time slot, for a lack of better words, right? And when you think of like the first Harvest Festival and then the last Harvest Festival, right, and like their symbolism, then the thing that falls in the middle would be that sort of middle style Harvest Festival, which it would make sense for it to sort of align with the like themes of this festival. And again, it's that thing where it's like, maybe it wasn't anciently practiced in the way that we practiced it. Maybe portions of its practice were essentially like extracted from like other ancient cultures that celebrated similar shit around the same time, right? Because like, I mean, like maybe Mabon wasn't celebrated, but the Autumnal Equinox obviously would have been.
The Autumnal Equinox, as well as just like fall harvest time, or even just harvest time, who have been celebrated for thousands of years.
Yeah.
And particularly the equinox or the like full moon or new moon surrounding that is like a big time for cultures all around the world to celebrate like this Thanksgiving kind of like closing of the harvest season, and winter is coming and summer is gone, that sort of thing. It's really like a time throughout cultures of sharing and giving thanks and transition, preparing for the winter, time for reflection, feasting and drinking. But you also see some of the other things that we see in the other two harvest festivals adjacent to it, which is, you know, like rituals and athletic contests. We also see matchmaking and trading. There's some visiting of holy wells, feasting, honoring the dead and your ancestors are also definitely like a part of this, depending on what kind of festival you're looking at and how you really want to celebrate it. But bonfires are generally not very common for Mabon. And I think that, at least as a Californian, I can appreciate it because the grass is really dry.
Yeah, as of right now, Californian, it's like because the grass is dry.
I mean, like we just had a storm roll through here. So
right now our grass is like damp, but...
but it's brown like straw.
Yeah, totally. Well, and you know, I think that it's one of those things where Mabon like really falls into that more balancing the calendar decision than the like 100% this was sort of like did. You know?
Well, when you think about it, we have like 3 harvest festivals, 3 late summer, early fall, you know, like summer fall festivals, and then we have 3 spring festivals.
Yeah, and I mean, we have,
you know,
3 of each festival, which is why there's 12. Right, there's 3 for each season.
There's only 8.
There's not 12?
No.
No, lame.
There's only 8. Yeah.
3 for each of the 3 seasons that matter. Winter doesn't count. Winter, right? Yeah, because there's a festival in what? January?
No, there's Yule.
Oh, so there's Yule, and then it's February.
Yule and Midsummer are the 2 that don't match up with
don't align with the other seasonal shenanigans.
Yeah, so there's 3 spring and 3 fall, and
with one of each, 1 winter and 1 summer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not a balanced calendar, but it like, I guess it works.
It makes sense. Yeah. It makes sense.
So
it makes as much sense as anything else. Why not? I don't need a reason to celebrate.
So the interesting thing about Mabon is it's really sort of like different with the way that different people want to celebrate it. It's right around the time that the Eleusinian mysteries are happening. We talk a lot about that in the Persephone and a little bit in the Aphrodite and the Greek gods episodes that we've done. And so there's a lot of that like underworld thing. One of our really good friends, who is also a YouTuber, she has decided that she's not going to call it fall anymore because in our neck of the woods, at least, it's still like warm. I mean, we just had a storm come through, but it's not that cold here. Yeah. We're still like wearing like tank tops and shorts. We are not busting out sweaters and scarves and Ugg boots. Yeah. It's too warm for that. You'll die. Yeah. So she started calling this underworld season because really we're sort of preparing to enter the underworld. And I am 100% here from that. So
Halloween stuff's in all the stores. It's fantastic.
Oh my God. I'm so excited. All the Halloween things.
Although I've seen some shenanigans about places starting to put
Christmas stuff
up, and that shit's too early. It's not allowed. You can't
have my Halloween.
You can't put Christmas stuff up until the day after Halloween. November 1st, put up Christmas stuff. I love Yule. I love the whole thing. Yeah. Right. Normally we have like 4 living Christmas trees in the house for like most of the season.
Yeah.
Because I love buying the like living Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like too early.
Yeah.
For Christmas stuff, but it's just the right time for Halloween stuff. Give me like skeletons and ghouls and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. Give me horror movies. I'm looking at you, streaming services that all have like a ton of stuff scheduled for October.
Ooh, yeah.
What's up?
It's gonna be very
excited. I'm very hyped for October.
I watched horror movies all weekend and it was an amazing choice. So Mabon has really kind of changed since the initial like thing was brought about in the 70s. And I think that the thing that strikes me most about it is it's kind of like cliche to say it, but it's kind of like the pagan Thanksgiving. So like Thanksgiving as a holiday is not an American thing. There's cultures all over the world that celebrate a sort of a Thanksgiving, a sort of a thanks for the harvest, thanks to the earth for giving us these fruits and vegetables and this bounty.
Yeah, sure.
So that's really what I want to talk about today.
Our Thanksgiving, like as Americans, obviously different thing.
Yeah.
A lot of misinformation. Yeah. School was weird, whatever.
Well, and it wasn't just school, right? But, the harvest is like at this point.
Charlie Brown cartoon up in there, right? It's not a holiday if it doesn't have a Charlie Brown cartoon. Aren't those the rules?
That's fair.
Right?
That's fair. Yeah. At least where we live. Because this is like
it's one of those
things. Live like right where the guy who made
Schultz
Peanuts live around here.
Yeah. That's one of them, like, if you're out there and you're listening to this and you're not like obviously from around us, like, are the Peanuts a thing for you? Like Charlie Brown and Snoopy and
we have like statues of them. Like,
huge art
like
statues
all over town.
Yeah, all over the county.
I'm actually not a big fan of Peanuts. Like I like their cartoons, like the seasonal cartoons, but I'm not a big fan otherwise.
Of the show and whatnot?
No.
I was like Peanuts, man.
I was never super into it. I was never super into it.
It's super
although I do love that all the
football away is just an
that
absolute
all the
monster.
Parents like talking wah.
I still hear adults like that. If you're an adult and you're talking, I don't know. I'm not here for that. I don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Well, and I remember when the it was like an existential dread sort of movement came out where they were like, read Peanuts, but not the last panel. And it's just
Peanuts
like
not the last panel.
Really dark.
Fucked up comic, man. Yeah. Yeah, well, and we've got like the Snoopy ice skating rink and like the Charles Schultz museum and all that stuff here.
Yeah.
So I guess for us, it's like the obvious thing to think about. Like for me, that's like the classic holiday shows always include the like Peanut shows.
They do,
right?
They do, yeah.
I mean, like it's the like, what are your holiday movies? What's your holiday cartoon? Yeah. Does Saturday Night Live have a DVD release of like a bunch of random sketches over the course of 20 years for that holiday? The answer is yes. Yule, I'm looking at you. Still, it's hilarious. bag of glass is maybe the best one. Putting it out there. But like, yeah, no, that's always an interesting way to think about it, is like, or to look at that kind of stuff from my perspective, is very like, oh, like, well, to me it's peanuts. Do you guys have peanuts? And if you don't have peanuts, or like Charlie Brown, or you like only cursorily know what that is or what I'm talking about at all, like, what's your equivalent? You know, I mean, like, theoretically, everybody's got Sesame Street, right? But like, is Sesame Street way bigger in some places? You know,
I don't know. Sesame
is there
Street
some other shit? Are people watching? I don't know, whatever, Babar or some shit. I don't know.
But like, that was a different time than now, and I don't know that sort of thing is still as
it's still like a thing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And if you have
Sesame
like,
Street's still a thing. Like, it still exists. They still do shows, but I don't know that it's as big of a thing as it was. But I came from like the Mr. Rogers Neighborhood generation.
Yeah, sure, totally.
So you know, there's
I mean, you know, SNL's probably still a thing, but like. Is it as big?
SNL?
Yeah. Who's watching SNL?
I haven't watched SNL since
so
like
long.
the 90s.
In so long. Yeah, in so long.
Yeah.
So
anyway, I'm gonna hop back to this Thanksgiving thing.
Just hear distracting conversation. Don't worry.
Yeah. So you had mentioned like Thanksgiving being in November, but the original Thanksgiving in America was actually celebrated on a state-by-state basis for the days, and some states celebrated as early as October 3rd.
Oh, wow.
Which is only just like a little bit after the Autumnal Equinox. It wasn't until Lincoln was president that Thanksgiving was decided upon
like
being in November, and then
it's kind of like a dumb rule, right? It's like is it like a day, or it's like the third Thursday of the 14th Tuesday?
It used to be the last Thursday of November. That's what Lincoln basically did. And some states were really upset about this. They were like, you can't change our Thanksgiving day. So we're going to have 2 Thanksgivings. And then eventually, like, all that stuff sort of like fell away. And
listen, if you're from a state that could have had 2 Thanksgivings, fight to get that shit back, guys.
I believe
2 turkey meals. It's a good plan.
Was FDR, and he made it so Thanksgiving was the 3rd Thursday, because then because he wanted it to help people, like businesses, get out of the Great Depression. So they moved the date up by like essentially a week, because it gave businesses more chance to make money.
Sure.
In between. So we talk a little bit, we don't talk about that specifically, but we talk about Thanksgiving a little bit, and hidden heathenry in modern holidays. Oh my God. Blah. Hidden heathenry in modern holidays.
You got this? You're gonna be okay through that one? Hidden heathenry in modern holidays?
Yeah, there's something about it. It just got me.
It's that sweet alliteration.
It is. There's only 2 in there.
There's 3.
I guess there's 3. Yeah. Either way. So we talk about that Thanksgiving.
Right now holidays? Let's put an H in front of that.
No.
The H in front of right now is silent. Shh. Don't worry.
No. So we talk about Thanksgiving and some other holidays in that episode, and particularly how capitalism has changed some of those. It's a fun episode to listen to. So I think that in going through this, I found that like a lot of places do their harvest festival like significantly earlier than Thanksgiving is, because
like American Thanksgiving.
Yeah, because like you have to think about like when the crops are there, and by the time Thanksgiving rolls around in America in like late November, like, I mean, you can't just go out to your yard and pick like some tomatoes; those are already gone. You know, and Thanksgiving in most cultures sort of coincides at a time where the harvest is in full swing, just starting or just ending. And Mabon kind of hits us in this weird place. But I think that it's still a really great time to think about as a pagan doing Thanksgiving. And you can do that in like a bunch of different ways. But like, I think that including some things that are pretty like common for harvest festivals around the world would be great. So like decorating with the bounties of the harvest. So decorating with vegetables and fruits and grain and squashes.
Cornucopias.
Just all like the cornucopias.
Plethora of cornucopias. Yeah. If you will.
And all the full leaves. All the leaves.
Yeah. Stuffing a cornucopia full of leaves. Just like, I'm so thankful for all of this fucking sweeping and raking I gotta do.
And if you're not a cornucopia person, you can do wreaths. In ancient Greece, a wreath made from either the first or the last grains, depending on where you were, of the harvest was considered a magical amulet and was hung on the door until next year's harvest.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say that wreaths came about because of harvest festivals, but like,
did you ever
like
do
that.
those? Did you ever do those
turkey hand wreaths?
No. I was gonna say
Yes.
those leaf plastic bags that look like pumpkins. Did you ever do those?
No.
Okay, so we used to get these when I was a kid. It was like a like a trash bag for like picking up leaves and shit. And when you like rake up the yard and you put them in these like orange and green trash
and
bags.
they look like
they were
pumpkins.
orange with like a green top, and they had like a little pumpkin face on them, like a black
we never really
jack-o'-lantern
had
face.
trees with
And then
leaves.
you would just like tie it off, so that way it's got the little green thing, and then you just set that shit out in your yard.
Yeah, no, we didn't really have trees with
Yeah.
leaves. I grew up in the city. We didn't really have that there.
She didn't really have trees or whatever.
That's actually pretty accurate. We didn't really have trees where I lived. But wreaths are a great way to decorate. You can also make food from the recently harvested items for a large feast. Particularly, we're looking at grains here. So like pancakes, bread, pies, etc. All that stuff is very traditional and really just like hits all that harvest festival checkbox from like totally around the world, as well as some sort of group activity besides eating. Some sort of like cultural game or a contest, singing, dancing, parades.
Yeah.
All of those are very common throughout that whole Thanksgiving like side of things. So
Talk about a Mario Kart tournament.
I mean,
It's got cultural significance. It's a contest. Yeah.
It is like a bit of a
Get all your friends together, have a feast. We're doing a Mario Kart tournament.
Yeah.
Perfect Mabon celebration.
I see nothing wrong with
right?
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nothing at all. Nothing wrong with that. That's 100% there.
That'd be dope.
That's
Or like a special D&D, like a one-shot D&D campaign.
Yeah, that would be a great
like
way to do it
pre-write
too.
up a bunch of like partial characters, so you don't have to do like the whole D&D.
Have it be like a little bit of a potluck.
Yeah.
You know, everybody
Totally.
brings
it's like
a thing.
It's like a mystery, one of those murder mystery dinners, but way funner because it's Dungeons and Dragons.
I mean, I don't know what way funner.
Murder mystery dinners don't have dragons or dungeons, so yeah, they're subpar.
I mean, the last murder mystery dinner we went to had like seances.
It was close, but neither
close.
a seance is neither a dragon nor is it a dungeon.
That's fair. That's fair.
So I'm just saying, D&D.
So I think that I think as like a modern pagan, taking Mabon and making what you want of it is, I think, more important than trying to figure out what everybody else is doing. And I think that really focusing on that giving thanks side of thing is good, because so many of these holidays are about honoring something, but we don't really have one of these holidays that's about giving thanks, about being thankful, especially modern times. Like, we don't really have that.
Yeah.
And even Thanksgiving is kind of like a tough thing for that, because many people in the pagan and witchy space don't really have the ability to really be out with their family or to be comfortable in those kind of family situations.
Oh, sure.
So, if you are one of those people, you can really turn Mabon into like your pagan Thanksgiving. Whether or not you have other pagans around you to celebrate, you can always invite over friends and have like a fun dinner party, and then you're kind of doing your own Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Or you can not do that at all. That's the beauty of it. Is I think this holiday, because it is so new,
lone wolf
you can do
party.
anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, lone wolf party. Underworld party.
Yeah.
You can use it as your time to decorate for Halloween.
As an individual person, you can make a whole 20-pound turkey and mashed potatoes and gravy and stuffing and cranberry sauce and eat that whole ass thing. As a person who almost always wants to do that. I love Thanksgiving dinner. Not actually because of Thanksgiving dinner. That's an okay event. It's 99% for sweet, sweet leftover sandos. Leftover sando, so good that Dad and I used to buy like mini turkeys.
I know.
Because they would like go on sale after Thanksgiving or whatever. You buy a bunch of them, put them in your chest freezer, and then you can just roast them off later in the year. We would just roast them off and have like dinner like once with them. Just be like, whoa, whatever. And then immediately just like slice all that meat up into sandos. Also, if you've never done a turducken, It's an experience. You should do it. It's delicious. But do it right. Like every layer's got to have a different kind of stuffing in it, right? You want to make sure you've got it like nice, like wrapped up good. Maybe throw a little bacon in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and if you did it during like the Mabon time frame, you're really looking at like a place where it's not super stressful. So I think that the problem with like Americanized, particularly Thanksgiving, is that it gets really stressful.
Oh, Thanksgiving has a lot of hype, dude. You got to get out the fine china.
And it's got a lot of hype, and you got to do all these things. And like most people go to multiple Thanksgivings. There's that one year we did like 4 Thanksgivings.
Too many Thanksgivings sometimes, guys. Yeah. I mean, they were delicious. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, they were delicious. We had a great time, but it was a lot.
It's exhausting. Yeah,
it's very exhausting. So Mabon can be kind of whatever it is that you want it to be, and the way that we celebrate it may be a little bit different than everybody else. But we have a bunch of different ways to celebrate Mabon as well, like we've been doing with the rest of these 102 episodes. That way,
many lists.
All these lists, more lists. So here are some ways that you can celebrate Mabon.
Yeah.
You can start by refreshing your sacred space. We try to do this with every one of the Sabbats. We try to refresh our sacred space, give it a little clean, dust it, change some stuff
rearrange
up, add stuff,
take stuff out,
take some stuff out
of storage. Like at Christmas time, we take a bunch of the stuff that we have on our space during like the Halloween season, and we turn it into, like, we put that stuff away and we pull out all the Christmas stuff. And not only do we change our altar space, but we also change sort of like the surrounding decorative accoutrement, with the singular exception that every single holiday, some decorations are left behind, and we just drag the house slowly into holiday chaos, which frankly,
we still have spring flowers up and everything. It's great.
Creepy in the redwoods witchy cabin that we wanted. So yeah,
we're definitely living our best
still
life there.
Like Chinese New Year lanterns up
from like 3 years ago.
Because they're gorgeous, and why not, right? Like, oh my God, they're so beautiful. We have
Christmas ornaments up that were gifted to us.
Yeah, we have special Christmas ornaments. We have some Harvest Festival stuff.
Harvest Festival stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a bunch of things.
We got cobweb curtains, like decorative cobweb header curtains.
We put those up the first year for Halloween that we moved into this house.
Cool.
And we've never taken them down. It's
so cool. We were just, in fact, when they get old and like we need to like replace it because it's like gotten caught on stuff, or we've like, or like a plant grow through it. Like the one in the bathroom. Like we just like replace them. Like middle of the year, we're the people on Amazon buying Halloween curtains in the middle of the year to like replace our curtains. Yeah. So yeah, we got like a bunch of brooms. We got a lot of brooms.
Brooms and skulls.
Mini brooms and mini skulls.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So not only refreshing your sacred space, but maybe also refreshing just your space in general.
Yeah.
But I find that refreshing my sacred space, like with the Sabbats, really helps me kind of like appreciate what it is that I do from a magical standpoint. It allows for like some quiet introspection. It helps to give a little bit of inspiration if you're starting to feel a bit stagnant. Refreshing your sacred space is a great way to go.
Yeah. Unless you introduce like stuff that's seasonal into your space, like if you get like a nice woven cornucopia, right? You can put that on in your altar space like the whole time, right, all year or whatever, right? But like theoretically, like now would be the perfect time to bring that out and set it up, rearrange your space, sort of align it to the like tone of the season, so that way when you are practicing, however you're practicing in your space, that practice is a little bit like emboldened with the energy of the season, and even if it's as little as like changing your candles from like summertime, like yellows and bright colored candles to some like, more rustic colored, more like natural, like oranges and deep reds
and
like
browns
and blacks sort of candles. Yeah. So, and I mean, we do that like every season, like rotate through all of our stuff. I mean, primarily because we have too much stuff to put on our altars all at once.
Yeah. But also sometimes we're like, ooh, what about this shiny?
Yeah.
Or something just doesn't feel right on there at the moment. So we just sort of like put it in a box.
Yeah. You're just changing your vibe, just like,
Exactly.
moving with the seasons.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've already talked about this, but of course you can invite friends and family over for a meal. You can make a feast, whether that's with other people or just by yourself, because doing stuff by yourself, there's nothing wrong with that either.
Yeah. It's awesome.
And especially doing a feast or a meal with food that you've harvested yourself adds like definitely a little bit of additional vibes to that whole like Thanksgiving sort of thing. You can also plan a ritual, whether you're planning your Mabon ritual, which don't forget, it does not have to happen on the autumnal equinox.
Yeah.
Think of it like a season.
If you're busy, do it another time. It's fine. Right?
Or stretch it out. But you can also plan future rituals too. So it's not like you have to do it. So if you're like kind of whatever about Mabon, but you're like really wanting to do something big for like Samhain or for Yule, there's no reason why you can't plan
just
that now.
Celebrate Mabon by like getting Samhain set up.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly. You can also visit a pick your own orchard or a farm, especially if you're wanting to get some food to harvest yourself.
Pick your own farm right off the vine. Whole farms.
Whole farms.
Whole farms right off the vine.
Yeah.
A pumpkin patch. If you're in an area that does those, I think those are just starting to get set up and like fired up. So maybe it's a good time to get
corn maze pumpkins. Too. A lot of times those are like together.
Yep.
Yeah. You can also collect fallen leaves. We're starting to get some pretty cool ones around here. Yep. We have a giant maple tree, and it makes giant just leaves.
Big, dumb leaves.
Worthy, like they are the size of a dinner plate. They are worthy of Land Before Time tree stars.
Those like tree star leaves.
Yeah, they're definitely tree star leaves. They're huge.
Yeah.
And they change all sorts of like beautiful colors, and they're just starting to come down now. So collecting fallen leaves, definitely fun. I'm very into collecting leaves and sticks. I'm
obviously
here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. My desk at work used to just like have sticks. There's like a season that sticks are really good.
Yeah.
And I would just like wait for good
I have
sticks.
I have piles of branches and rocks all over the yard.
Yeah.
It's like, these are my branch piles.
We get firewood, and
we
actually we get firewood because that's one of the things we use to like keep our house warm.
Yeah.
And like we will be like, oh, this is a really cool piece of firewood.
Yeah, sometimes you get firewood and you're like, this is a dope firewood. I'm gonna save this to like do something else with.
This. Yeah.
On top of my like the chest that I keep all my tools on, I have like maybe 25 sticks in various stages of hand carved, tool carved, like weird. I've got one that is like a root ball from a tree that we had at the old house.
Yeah.
That's just like this awesome root ball, and I'm like, I'm gonna do something with that. But like,
we don't know.
I don't know what. Or
someday.
When. Yeah.
Yeah. Until then, it's just going to be a really cool. It's just going to be a really cool.
It's just going to be a bunch of cool sticks.
Yeah. You can also make wine or visit a winery. My mom makes wine every year around this time, so like we go pick grapes and help her make wine. You can go to some wineries and do like grape stomping. You can also get like wine making kits, or if you're not into wine, you can do mead also. There's
beer,
no reason that you can't do that. It's just winemaking is kind of like particularly tied to this time of year, especially if you live in an area where where there's a lot of wineries, which we live in the wine country in California. It is crush season now, and it's a big deal out here. It's a big deal. And there are several wineries that you can go and help make wine with them, either by paying to do grape stomping or by becoming a part of like their wine club. And then you can like help them like do stuff around the winery, kind of like as a co-op. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Or like take a class, do like a wine class or like a winemaking lessons or any of that sort of stuff, listen to an expert or any of that,
Yeah. Yeah. You can also forest bathe in a place that's known for its fall colors. As the leaves are starting to turn, like
is that just getting pelted with leaves as they're falling off the trees?
No. Forest bathing is there's a Japanese term for it, and I can't think of what it is. It's been highly popularized in America over the last couple of years. And basically just go to the forest and just like be there. Like, don't be on your phone. Don't be like taking hella pictures and stuff. Just like appreciate the forest. Don't have an agenda about what to do there. Just go and just like hang out. Yeah. Soak it in.
Yeah.
You know, like imagine how you would like sit on like a beach or something like that and just sort of like take it all in. You basically do that, but in the forest instead.
All right. Yeah. It's like Ben Franklin nighttime baths, sky baths, but clothed. Preferably.
Yeah. Unless you found a nude friendly forest.
Yeah.
To visit, or unless you like.
I guess that could be a thing. Yeah. Unless you own a forest. We own forests, so
we own forests,
we could do that.
Yeah. Yeah. You can also buy fresh groceries from your farmers markets, at least before they close. Some farmers markets close as early as September 1st, and I'm just like, ow.
Yeah. Oh my God. No, that's crazy.
We're only just starting our harvest of tomatoes here. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
So yeah, buy fresh groceries from your farmers market. It's a great place to find stuff that you would not have necessarily thought about buying.
Yeah,
so it's a lot of fun.
Maybe pick up a local CSA box.
Yeah.
Like if you've got one in your region, so you can get some like locally farmed fruits and veg. That stuff's always sort of like random what you get in the box, which is nice because then you're forced to learn how to cook new things.
Yeah.
And enjoy stuff that you otherwise might not.
And we've been doing that this summer, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been a ton of fun.
It's been very interesting deciding how
Plus,
to eat
it's really forcing us to eat like a lot of fresh vegetables.
Yes.
Which is super chill.
Yeah, totally. And if you do have a garden, you can also invite friends and family over to help you harvest the last of your garden.
Yeah.
Or a fruit tree or something like that. Like a lot of people have fruit trees that are just like putting out tons of fruit right now, and you're wondering what to do with your fruit. Invite friends and family over to come and help you pick it. Yeah. But don't just like give them a bucket and then like go sit in the house. Like go and hang out and do the thing together.
If they've got young kids who are going to do all the picking up and the putting in the boxes and stuff like that. As a kid, I was definitely it was definitely one of those like, oh, we're going over to somebody's friend's house because they've got a plum tree. They've got a big tree that's like starting to make a mess in the backyard and they don't want to have to deal with that. So we're going to leave here with a trunk load of fresh, crab apples or plums or, some sort of nonsense like that.
And then you get to have a bunch of fun trying to figure out how you're going to, what you're going to do with all this stuff. And then you can preserve harvest foods, whether or not you're harvesting or whether or not you're doing that with stuff that you've harvested or stuff that you've bought, but you can preserve the harvest foods by canning or drying or freezing them, maybe setting up meals for yourself for the winter time, making things easy. Like one of the things that I did with the CSA boxes we've been getting over the summer is I've been roasting and then freezing vegetables so that I have my own frozen vegetable mix.
Yeah, essentially like make your own like TV dinners, right? Mm-hmm. Like that's exactly what it is. If you have like a vacuum sealer, you can use that, which will help stuff last longer, you know, and like meal prep stuff. Totally.
Yeah. You can also start a gratitude journal. There's really, like we were saying, Thanksgiving and all that stuff. It can be as personal as you want it to be, but this is a good time to start.
It can be like a paper book journal. It can also just be an app. There's a bunch of good, like gratitude journal apps that have like, they'll like remind you at this time of the day and this time of the evening to fill out your journal. And it, it's got prompts that you could either set, like it comes with like default prompts, or you can like set up your own prompts. You can also use those like the one that I use. I modified one of the prompts specifically to store like daily like tarot readings and stuff like that. So like you can kind of do all of that, and there's a lot of free ones and there's a lot of inexpensive ones too.
Yeah, totally.
I just use a free one.
Or you can skip the journal entirely and just start a gratitude practice. Every day you
do a little sit
something.
Down and think about gratitudes before you go to bed or
wake up, when you first wake when you're brushing your teeth or whatever.
Totally.
Make it your own. You can also prepare your home and or your yard for the winter. Think of it kind of like spring cleaning. Pick up all your stuff and put it in the place so it'll be safe during the winter time. And so it doesn't get rained on or snowed on. Yeah. Every time it rains out here, I always ask him if there's stuff that he needs to move.
Inevitably, there's some tools sitting outside that I entirely forgot about.
Yeah.
So too many projects, not enough time.
Yeah. But it's a great time to clean the house and the yard, get it ready for winter, and sort of just like get in that space.
Yeah, totally.
And you can also meditate on what balance means to you. We've been mostly talking about Thanksgiving, but Mabon is also a time of balance. Equal day, equal nights. What does balance look like to you? We recently did an episode that was talking about burnout. And are you pushing yourself too hard? Are you feeling guilty about not doing enough? Like finding that balance. And I mean, when I say finding that balance, it's not like you're going to go, aha,
yeah,
I found it. That's exactly it. I just need to do 3 red.
Don't worry,
and 2
I've
blue,
got it, guys.
and that makes me totally feel balanced. It's not like that. It's something you're always working towards.
Yeah.
But you can certainly, move towards that idea of balance.
Yeah.
Let's see. You can also make apple cider, whether that's getting a thing of cider and then mulling it with mulling spices, or whether that's getting some apples and turning it into cider.
Doing the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that sort of all falls underneath the like wine making, beer making, mead making thing. There's like again, we've said before, you do like a pumpkin patch or like a corn maze, or like if you have like if your county does a harvest festival, you can attend a harvest festival. We do like summertime festivals here, but there's a few
there are
festivals.
Actually harvest festivals around
so
here.
So it's like you go to like harvest festival, or like kind of anything vaguely harvest related and outside.
Yeah.
Go for a hike. Go visit a farm. Find like a visitable farm. You know? If you got kids, take them to a petting zoo. Everybody loves petting zoos.
Oh my gosh, as an adult, I love petting zoos.
Yeah. That's fair.
Yeah.
Everybody loves animals. So.
Yeah, I want to play with all the cute animals. Yeah. All of them.
Goats. Coolest animals.
I'm into it. You can also make or buy grain sheaf art. So think of like a sheaf of wheat, which is just like a handful of a few stalks of wheat.
Yeah.
As a plant, there is it's something that we talk about with corn dollies a little bit, but you can also do art with these grain sheaves. If you don't have a grain near you that you can do that with, you can oftentimes find grain sheaves for like decorative purposes as we approach Thanksgiving time at like the supermarket florist. So you check with a florist and they can usually find that for you. Or if you have like a
craft store, like our local craft store kind of always has that stuff.
Yeah.
And heck, even if for some reason you can't find the real stuff, there is always the the fake stuff in the like floral department.
You can
of a craft store.
Use something that is near you that is easier for you to get a hold of.
Yeah.
Like my mom has lavender plants, so we often do harvest type art with lavender.
Yeah, I made those lavender wands
you
this
made
year.
These like really cool wands. And if you sell the lavender plant, that's easy. You just pull some of it off it. But if you live near a field and there's a bunch of like grass growing there, you can use that too. The thing is not about finding a sheaf of grain. It's really about finding something that works for you.
Harvesting something and then like creating something with intention around that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can also make a miniature feast for the Fae. So in keeping with that Thanksgiving idea and thinking of feasting, why not make a feast of tiny foods?
Yeah, everybody loves tiny food.
Tiny foods, small cookies and small cakes and small meals, tiny tacos.
It's like a big half-pound cake. It says "Happy Birthday, Fae." Just leave it outside.
I mean, you could do that too.
That's how you get wolves at your house.
I don't know about wolves, but that's how you get something.
Yeah. You know how much meat I put in that cake. It's all wolves. So, yeah.
You could also weave a basket. That's a thing that, like, I definitely did as a kid. Is like that kind of like weaving.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, weaving grass or baskets or cornucopias or any of that sort of stuff. Yeah. Just I'm absolute garbage at it. Just garbage. Yeah. Truly garbage. I mean, I can like decorate an already woven basket, right? I'm mad good with a hot glue gun, but or needle and thread. But if you're asking me to follow like a specific pattern and you got to like count stitches, listen, I'll crochet the shit out of a scarf. But if you're asking me to make a hat, that hat is going to be lumpy. Like mad lumpy. It's going to be so lumpy, that hat. Because I don't have the internal patience to like be like 47 stitches this time. Next time, 49 stitches. Not at all. 0% no am I doing that shit. So yeah, but scarf, that's piece of cake. Yeah, I used to crochet the shit out of huge fucking scarves, ridiculous scarves, less work.
Yeah. So we have a basket or crochet a scarf, I guess.
Yeah, we have a basket or crochet a scarf.
You can also donate to or volunteer at a charity. Speaking of Thanksgiving,
Yeah,
that's kind of a way of helping other people give thanks, but also giving thanks for what you have by helping those who have less. So that's a list of things that you can do for Mabon. As for us, we usually celebrate by basically getting our house and our yard ready for the winter. This is that got to get everything ready for the winter. Time to stack a bunch of firewood and that sort of thing.
I mean, that's like the standard stuff that we do, like house maintenance stuff and like cleaning up the yard and like getting the firewood ready for the winter and like, like dog run and getting the chicken coop set up and like that kind of thing. But like pretty much everything on the list is stuff that like we've done.
Yeah.
Right?
We also really use this time.
And so like every year, depending on the situation, we kind of like choose the like block of things that work for us. Like, I mean, like there were years when I was younger where I would like every single year we'd go to the pumpkin patch. Yeah. Like all the time. Right. But like it's been a while since I've done like the pumpkin patch corn maze thing. But like, something like making cider or mulled wine or something like that, we do that like
fairly often. In fact, we talked about making some today.
Yeah, like I got a mad hankering for it just like earlier today. But so like, yeah, it's kind of like choose what sort of like fits with you that you can kind of like fit into the time that you have left after all of the like regular like yard care maintenance, getting out your winter clothes. If like you're in a region that's like starting to already get wintry. Yeah,
like, if it's starting
to cool
some jackets,
down, it's starting to get cool out there.
Putting away your summer clothes, getting your winter clothes out.
Exactly.
Decorating for Halloween. Starting to put together a list for holiday presents is a thing that I also generally do about this time.
And holiday crafts.
Because I am a person who tries to do my gift shopping and making early. I usually try to pick things up throughout the year. So like it could be June. I'll be like, oh my gosh, look at this thing. This will be perfect for whoever for Christmas. Because even though we are pagans, we do still celebrate Christmas. It's mostly a capitalist holiday. As opposed to a secular holiday for us.
We
also celebrate Yule.
We celebrate spend money Yule.
We also celebrate Hanukkah. We celebrate all of them. We celebrate all of them. So that's another thing that you can do. So we really look at Mabon as a preparatory time.
Sure, totally. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So we have a simple Mabon ritual for you guys that you can use. It is like most of our other 102 rituals. It is a pretty simple one. So
it's sort of like openly non-denominational and just sort of like sort of dialed into a specific theme of the season.
Yes. And that theme for this particular episode and also for this ritual is thankfulness. So for all of these rituals, we always recommend to do any other magical things that you want, any other magical items you prefer to have, but definitely something to drink and a small snack. Doing ritual work, doing magical work does take some out of you, and you want to make sure that you're replenishing that and that you're, also perhaps leaving a bit of an offering if you can.
And everybody loves snacks.
Exactly. Why not plan some snacks for like a dope ritual? Yeah. Like there are some times that I do it and I'm like, okay, I'm going to choose this snack food for earth and I'm going to choose this one for air and this one for fire and this one for water. Like, and then we take a bite of like 8 things because
sometimes you just want some goldfish. We got different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, the last time I did something, I was just like, the only thing that I have that I feel like eating right now are these like gummy stars that I got from the truck stop. And so I just had those.
Yeah, whatever's clever, man.
They're really good. Anyway, so aside from any magical stuff and like your little snack, you're going to want to have at least one fallen leaf and a writing instrument. And so what you'll do first is you'll cast the circle, you'll clear your mind, and then you'll say, as the wheel of the year turns and Mabon moves us through this harvest season, I celebrate my gratefulness for the abundance it brings. Then you'll light the earth candle and say, spirits of earth, I'm thankful for the wealth that you bring me. Next, you'll light the air candle and say, spirits of air, I am thankful for the inspiration you bring me. Next, you'll light the fire candle and say, spirits of fire, I am thankful for the passion you bring me. Light the water candle and say, spirits of water, I am thankful for the peace you bring me. And lastly, you'll light the spirit candle and say, spirits of my ancestors, I am thankful for the love you bring me. And once you've done that, meditate on the things that you are thankful for however long you feel is appropriate. Once you're ready, take your writing instrument and write what you're thankful for on the leaf. Some people may want to write more than one thing, and that's great. You may want to have multiple leaves to write things on, and that's great too. It's really up to you, however you want to do that. And once you have written down the things that you're thankful for, say, in this harvest season, I count my blessings as one counts grain and give thanks for all I've reaped. Let this be a symbol of my gratefulness and a reminder of my good harvest this year. And now you can display the leaf on your altar or sacred space where you can be reminded of its symbolism often.
Yeah.
Once you're done with this, make sure to have your small snack and to have your drink. And if you can, if you're in a place where you're able to do that, go ahead and leave some of that as an offering.
Yeah. Nice and simple Mabon ritual. Few pointers. I would say test your writing instrument on a leaf. Get a test leaf just in case.
Yeah.
If you're using a Sharpie on a leaf, Sharpies bleed through stuff mad easy.
Yeah.
I have legitimately ruined pieces of fabric by writing on a leaf with a Sharpie, and it just bled 100% through that leaf.
I actually
recommend... I've actually done that before.
I actually recommend crayons or pastels to write on a leaf. Yeah. Over like a Sharpie if you have it available. But
like a color pencil, if it's like a softer color pencil, or like a charcoal, if you've got like one of them charcoal pencil, like the ones that use the string.
Yeah.
Right? One of them string charcoal pencils, because that's like a really, really soft, like smudgy charcoal. That is mad perfect for writing on leaves.
Yeah. Acrylic paint even.
Oh yeah. If you can paint that good for you.
Yeah. However you want to do it. Definitely a great idea to test out that writing instrument first.
Yeah. Just you don't want to like be that far into the ritual and be like, oh, I can't, it doesn't apply any.
And then you've got to like get up, turn the light on,
some stuff.
Find something, you don't need to do that. And then you have to get back and then be like, okay.
Yeah. Test.
Yeah. It's always hard to like bring that concentration back for me once it's been broken, particularly by a silly mundane thing such as that. Yeah. But I'm also a very preparatory person when it comes to spells and magic. I very much just like throw some intention at something and like say a few like words and then it's good, or just like think about something. But when it comes to like certain things, I'm very preparatory. I will look up all the correspondences. I will make a list. I will whittle that list down. I will write that list down again. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm going to do that. And then I like take my time gathering all the ingredients, very specific numbers of things or amounts of things. And then I assemble them all pretty like a charcuterie board of magical items, and then I like have my snack, and then have my drink, and then I'm gonna do the candles, and I do the whole thing. I very much am that person.
Sometimes I'm that person. Sometimes very ritual oriented and organized. Yeah. Sometimes it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was just like, oh, I've got this great idea.
Yeah.
Ritual. And then you're not prepared at all, and you're just kind of winging it with what you got.
And you're just like, I guess this is what I'm doing now.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's like a nice quick Mabon ritual.
Yep.
And then you can keep that leaf for however long you want to be reminded for it until the next time you redecorate your altar space or what have you. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
you don't have leaves, you can always get like an acorn, right on an acorn.
Yeah, you could.
A fallen acorn.
You could also,
right on one of them dry corns. Just every little kernel got a different word on it.
It's very silly. You can also buy fake leaves if you want to, and do it with a fake leaf too.
Yeah, that would actually super work.
If you can't make your own, store-bought is fine.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, whether that's like a waxed or glycerin leaf, or just like a fake fabric leaf, or even a piece of paper. It's really up to you. Whatever you have, make it easy on you.
Yeah.
It's only as complicated as you need it to be. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So right into correspondences.
Yep. Time for more lists of things. Lists. So these are all correspondences associated with Mabon, and we have these on our Book of Shadow pages in full. I only read a brief list of these things.
A portion of
the list.
Yeah.
For these episodes. Otherwise, we'd be here for a very long time. So animals associated with Mabon would be blackbirds and geese, owl, stags, although all deer kind of work, and wolves.
Yeah.
Colors, brown, orange, red, kind of all the colors of the like fall season. Stones, amethyst, citron, jasper, yellow agate are great for this. For plants, gourds and hay, mugwort, sage, sunflower, and really any vining plant are good for Mabon. As for foods, ale, apples, berries, grapes, jams and jellies, of course, oats, pomegranates, pumpkins, and any seasonal food, really. Deities would be Demeter, Dionysus, Freya, and Freyr, Mabon, the Maenads. I know they're not deities, but that's close enough. Persephone, Thor, Thoth, and the triple goddess are all associated with this particular time of year. And as for other like symbols and themes, completing projects, honoring the dead, abundance, reflection, all of those are really great for this particular holiday.
Yeah, definitely. So, that's going to be our partial list of correspondences. For all the correspondences, you can check that out, as well as a written out version of the ritual, and like all the information on one of our Book of Shadows pages, which are available on our Patreon. Speaking of that, we'd like to thank our patrons, Alan, Miranda, Helena, Alexa, and Adrian. You guys are awesome, and you keep us doing what we're doing. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and we really appreciate the support that you guys have been giving us through this spring and summer. It has been a difficult one for us. We have not made that. We have not made that a surprise, and we are really thankful to you.
Yeah, you guys
for
are the best.
helping us out.
Are the best. So next up, our next episode is going to be a pub chat. So that'll be Pub Chat episode number 11. So, send us some questions. If you have any questions, you can hit us up on social media. I'm at Jive everywhere, and she's at Goddess Jules everywhere, and the links are in the things. Or if you are listening to just this on just like your podcast network, go to nerdjive.com, and we've got all of our social media links there, as well as a like an email form for submitting questions or whatever there. And then our next full-length episode will be episode number 45 on Teseomancy, which is how to read tea leaves. So that sounds awesome.
Yeah, we were going to have that one sooner, but we had to rearrange things because otherwise this Mabon episode would have come out after Mabon, and as it is, we're getting in under the wire. Yeah. So I'm very excited to talk about tea leaf reading. It is a magical practice that I do very often, and I thoroughly enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. I really like tea.
We have a lot of tea. We drink a lot of tea.
A lot.
So
there's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so much that it lives in several places.
Yeah. We go through a lot of tea.
Yeah. So, I'm really excited to get to that episode.
Yeah, that's going to be super awesome. Yeah. That's going to be super awesome. So, either way, I have been John Norgrove. This has been Julie Norgrove. This has been the Horn
and Cauldron
podcast. And we will catch you guys next time. Stay magical, folks.
Yeah. And don't forget, breathe in self-confidence and breathe out self-doubt.